We know that there's like this growing sense of like ignorance or like lack of awareness around what's going on, and which is really fueling this apathy. And I think like Canadians are often looking at what's going on in the world rather than what's going on here at home. We don't really have the language or the understanding or the education around like our own civics and politics, which makes it difficult to hold our leaders accountable, and to figure out how to ask for more or better than what we currently have. Also, I mean, polarization is skyrocketing right now, but around things that have no business being polarized, it doesn't make sense that we're like debating human rights, and yet that's the world we're in. So not taking a stance around these things is a bit of a risk, because people feel that when they read something or they engage with like any comms. You can't take a neutral approach to someone being oppressive or problematic. And then I think we're seeing like such a compassion crisis because people are feeling a lot of hopelessness around these major issues, but we're struggling to figure out like what can we actually do to show up, and then how do we actually show up in a way that's sustainable over time. And a big part of that is really embedding and better understanding the values that we have as individuals that we want to live by. And part of that is like how we show up in our comms, how we show up in our work.
And that new way is also directly in line with how power is shifting in our community. How power has shifted, influenced largely by the power of social networking and social media. And we're seeing people shift how they connect. We're seeing people, replace anointed voices with, grassroots ones. And if we deny that this shift is happening, we're going to be left behind. But we also know that when power shifts in these ways, mindsets also need to shift. And that requires overcoming fear. And a lot of this is a leadership practice as much as it is a communications practice. But we wanted to just name this because this is the change that we're all feeling. This is what industries are feeling. And the more awareness we bring to our leadership, the more we're actually able to, name what feels sticky so that we can move through it together. And you don't always need to know as a leader. And we really want to normalize that as well. And that really begs the question, like, how do we harness the power of online digital engagement, which is what, piqued all of your interest for systems change, right? How do we not just do our work in our silos, but really think across the board on what is the message we need to be sending and provide a shared language amongst ourselves for what is happening and how we can really collaborate, because that is how digital platforms work, right? That is how algorithms work. They see people coalescing around ideas, and we will get farther in that journey to reach and engage those audiences if we strategically partner and do this work together.